Hello, and thank you for taking the time to review this short video. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to three of what I feel are the most brilliant concepts you'll ever see. And I want to congratulate you on being invited to this information because it's clear that the person who sent you here thinks highly enough of you to share it with you. They feel that you're the type of sharp, entrepreneurial-minded person that can recognize something that flat out makes sense. And the three brilliant concepts I'm going to introduce you to are ones you probably have heard of before, but I'm going to hopefully give you some insight into each one that's going to open your eyes to something that's pretty phenomenal. And the first concept I'd like to introduce you to is this idea of passive income. Wikipedia defines passive income as income that's received on a regular basis with little effort required to maintain it. Some examples of passive income might be rent from property you might own, royalties from publishing a book, dividend and interest earnings, and pensions, of course, and one that I truly love, and that is earnings from a business that no longer requires direct involvement. Now that sounds great. Now how might this look in the real world? Let's look at an example. This is Bob, the real estate broker. And Bob goes in and opens a real estate office, and of course he's a broker, and that gives him the ability to go out and sell a home outside of that office. And because he does that, he's going to earn a commission. And we understand this concept. It's been around for a long time. It's nothing new. But as a real estate broker, Bob is empowered to do something that's a little bit different. See, Bob can go out and recruit other real estate agents. And let's say he goes and recruits his friend Rita, the realtor. And Bob's not going to employ Rita, so he's not paying her per hour. He's not paying her a salary. She's just going to hang her license on his office. Bob's the broker. He's going to train her, probably teach her some of the tricks that he knows. And now that Rita's a licensed real estate professional, she can go out and sell a home. And when she does that, of course, we know Rita gets paid. And that's a great concept. But because Bob's a broker, he's also going to get an override commission. And this is how the real estate world has worked for many years. Now, I want you to take a look at what just happened here. Didn't Bob just generate an income without his direct involvement? You bet he did. That is called passive income. And that's a brilliant concept. And Bob, being a smart entrepreneur, he looked at this and said, you know what? That was pretty cool. What if I could do that over and over again? What if I could go find other people who would like to join my real estate team? So he goes out and recruits Roxy and Rob, the realtors. And of course, he's going to do the same thing that he would with Rita. He's going to train them. He's going to teach them. They get to hang their license on his wall because he's the broker. Really, it's his business that he started. And when they go out and all sell homes, of course, they're going to earn commissions. But because Bob's the broker, he's also going to get paid an override. Every time they sell a home, he's going to get paid an override. Now, doesn't that just make sense? This is a concept of generating passive income that a lot of people can relate to. Now, I'm going to go back and reference this example in a little while, but I want to talk about our second brilliant concept, and that is creating multiple points of distribution. And you sort of just saw it, the way that Bob created multiple realtors in his office selling homes. That's multiple points of distribution. But I want to give you an example that I think a lot of people watching this can relate to. Everyone's heard of McDonald's, largest restaurant chain in the world. Well, Ray Kroc opened his first McDonald's franchise restaurant in 1955. In that year, he did about roughly $150,000 in revenue, which is not bad for selling some 15-cent hamburgers. That's pretty darn good. But today, there are over 35,000 restaurants worldwide. And of course, last year McDonald's had roughly $27 billion in revenue. Now, what is the moral of the story here? Well, when Ray Kroc bought the McDonald's franchise from the McDonald's brothers, he recognized a good system. He recognized that they had good burgers and good fries and good sodas. He recognized a great system that was very simple. And he knew that if he could just teach that over and over and over again to a lot of independent business owners, then he could probably do something pretty powerful. And that's the exact message that he continued to spread years and years and years later. By 1965, they had 500 restaurants. Just 5 years after opening the first franchise, he had 500. This is what we call multiple points of distribution. The more restaurants, the more burgers. Why not just have one or two restaurants? Because that one or two restaurants could only sell so many burgers. If you look at the revenue in 1955 of $150,000, that was certainly good. Back in 1955, that was a lot of money. But Ray Kroc was an entrepreneur, and he understood this powerful concept of creating leverage and creating multiple points of distribution. That in and of itself is also a brilliant concept. But I want to introduce you to brilliant concept number 3. called network marketing. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, oh no, he's going to try to sell me some lotions and potions or something, that's not what this video is designed to do. This video is designed to help educate you a little bit about this brilliant concept and hopefully open your eyes into how network marketing combines both the idea of creating passive income and multiple points of distribution into one amazing vehicle. So let me just take you through this network marketing concept, and I want to introduce you to Nick. This is Nick, the network marketer, and just like Bob the broker, Nick can really start his own business and go out and sell the products or services that he represents from the company that he's associated with, and of course he gets paid. Now the difference here from Bob the broker couldn't get paid every month. Here in network marketing, Nick can earn a commission every single month as his customers continue to purchase their services or purchase their products from that company. He gets paid a commission of that every month. Now, that's wonderful, but that's just based on his efforts. See, network marketing allows people to combine the idea of passive income and multiple points of distribution. So they're going to allow you to go out and build a team of other people who own their own business inside their company. They're going to be able to gather customers on their products or services. They're going to get paid every time their customers order that product or service. But because you are the person who started this team, you of course are getting paid an override commission every single month as those customers continue to pay their bill. This is a brilliant concept. Doesn't that just make sense? You're getting paid to help other people. You're getting paid passively, generating income from effort maybe you didn't personally produce. Now, what I want you to understand and look back here is exactly what we're doing. We're creating passive income and multiple points of distribution. This is nothing new or nothing different than what's already going on out there in franchising and in places like real estate where people generate income based on commission. All we're doing is circumventing the traditional model of advertising and selling through all the middlemen and all the points of touch that go on from a process of creating a product and getting it into a retail store. We're eliminating all of that, bringing really good, valuable products to the marketplace, and we're doing it through individuals through this social sharing model. Now, I want to talk about network marketing a little bit because there's some misconceptions that are out there. We'll talk about some myths here in a minute, but I want you to know that network marketing really does work, and you cannot argue this fact. It generates over $160 billion in worldwide sales. Now, billion gets thrown around a lot these days. You might not think that's very big or not that impressive worldwide, but I want you to consider some of these stats. That this network marketing industry worldwide is bigger than the NFL. It's bigger than the music industry. It's bigger than the video gaming industry. It's bigger than the movie industry and all the rage, the organic rage that's going on. It's bigger than the organic industry as well. That's pretty impressive when you take a step back and look at it. In the United States, 16 million people are involved, and that's impressive as well. I think over 50 million are involved worldwide. There are over 25 publicly traded network marketing companies, and many mainstream entrepreneurs are involved. Warren Buffett owns a company. Donald Trump has owned a company and fully endorses many. Robert Kiyosaki has written on the product. Richard Branson's been involved, and many others, many celebrities, not just paid endorsers, but actual participants and with companies that have great products and services all over the country. Now, I want to talk about some myths that are out there because, like I said, there are people out there who just don't understand the profession. And what I have learned in my time from communicating with a lot of people is that ignorance, when you don't quite understand something, you tend to be a little fearful of it. So let me educate you on some of the myths that maybe you've heard. Here's myth number one, and I get this a lot. It's got to be one of those pyramid things where only the person who gets in early or is at the top gets rich while all the people who come in later do all the work. And I want to open your eyes to a concept here because what you just described there, or what those critics out there describe, is obviously the typical corporate structure. You have a CEO who has more presidents than the CEO. There's more vice presidents. There's more middle management. And then there's the large general workforce. Now, let me ask you, okay, in this structure, who makes the most money? The person at the top. Obviously, we all know this. When you look at Michael Dell, who owns Dell Computers, the general workforce, the person who's assembling the Dell computers on the assembly line, they could be more productive, they could work more hours, but they'll never make as much money as Michael Dell. And the only person in this structure that has the ability to generate passive income is Michael Dell. He does not have to physically be there to run his company, and he still is one of the richest people in the world, creating tens of billions of dollars in revenue from something that he created. Now, no one out there seems to have a problem with this model. See, I had a problem with it. I used to work in the physical therapy business and loved what I did, but I realized soon that no matter how hard I worked or how great of a job I did, I was never going to make the most money in the clinic that I worked in. The person who owned it was going to, and they were the only person that had passive income ability. I wanted that same passive income ability, but instead of employing people and owning a traditional business, I wanted to empower people. And see, that's what network marketing does. It gives you the ability to go out and build a team, and it's not the person who at the top or who starts it all that makes the most money. It's the most productive person. And I'll prove it to you. I want you to take a look at this example here. This is more of what realistic network marketing looks like. Let's say that Joe starts in a network marketing company. He goes out and builds a team, and this team is generating customers that are creating volume. Joe's going to make some money, of course. But then he leads to someone who leads to Mike. And Mike goes crazy with it. He goes out and builds a large sales force, a large team of people who bring a lot of customers and a lot of volume. Now, in the real network marketing model, how it works is Mike would actually make the most money in this picture. Now, wait a minute. If it's one of those things where only the person at the top makes all the money, shouldn't Joe be the one making the most? No, that's not the way that it works. Joe will certainly get an override from Mike's production, and rightfully so, just like the real estate broker. Remember Bob the broker that I showed to you earlier? Bob's getting an override from the real estate agents that are in his office because they wouldn't be in the office if he hadn't recruited them. So Mike, who comes down into Joe's team somewhere in a network marketing organization, of course Joe's going to get an override of that. But the way that network marketing works, based on their compensation plans, and everyone that I've ever looked at, the person who's most productive, meaning they're out there generating the most customers, they're out there generating the most customer volume on their team, they are the ones that make the most money. Someone can get started up above and they can earn some income and maybe passive income, and that's wonderful, and rightfully so, again, because they started that process. My example personally, the gentleman who introduced me to network marketing got started in our company 3 years before I did. I make more money than he does. I was the number one earner for 3 years, and then someone came into my team 3 years later, multiple levels down from me, and he eventually went on to pass me up as the number one money earner. Now wait a minute. He came in 6 years after the person who enrolled me, and he makes the most money? How's that possible? It's possible because in a real network marketing company that provides real value and real products and services, the compensation plans reward the most productive person for building their business. And hopefully that dispels that myth of only the person at the top or only the people who get started first make all the money. It's the person who's most productive in their business making the most money. And isn't that how it should be? But I want to ask you a simple question. Think about where you work. Are you the most productive person, or are there people who are maybe less productive than you are that make more money? Just keep that in the back of your mind. Let's talk about myth number 2. Most people who start a network marketing business fail. I see this a lot from the critics out there who seem to think that everyone who joins a network marketing company should somehow be a multiple six-figure income earner. But I want to talk about first, what is your definition of failing? Because that's what I see. I see critics think that most people should make a six-figure income and be financially independent. And that's not necessarily fair, because there are some people who don't have that goal. I've worked with many people over the years who just wanted to eliminate $8,000 in credit card debt, and they worked hard enough to do that, and that's pretty much all they wanted to do, and they stopped. Now, to the network marketing critic, they're going to tell me that person has failed, when in reality they're a huge success. Or what about the person who wants to save enough money to buy a car or to buy a home, and they're not a multimillionaire, but they accomplish that through network marketing? That's a tremendous success in our profession, okay? Something also to consider. Do they fail or do they quit? Because I see a lot of people who dip their toe in our profession, and I'll talk about why in a minute, but I see a lot of people who really don't make a legitimate attempt at building a business. I would bet that if you looked at traditional franchising, for example, where 50% of franchises are proven to go out of business in 5 years, I would bet that if someone's going to invest $500,000 or even $100,000 to start a franchise, they're probably not going to give up that easily, right? They're going to give it a few years because they're investing their life into it. And in network marketing, we don't have that. We don't have to invest a lot of money to start. So we get a lot of people who dip their toe into it. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But one thing I also want to talk about is showing me something where a majority of the people are successful. I want to tell you a story about a friend of mine, Tim, who is a personal trainer. And he's been a trainer for a long time, I think 15 years. And, Tim was having a conversation with me about our network marketing business. And he said, Ben, I just don't know if I could be involved because I'm not so sure I could be comfortable getting people involved with something where they're not going to be successful with it. And I asked him, I said, well, Tim, you've been a trainer for 15 years. How many people do you think you've trained in that time period? And he said, well, at least 1,000 people. And I said, well, what do you charge people? And he charges about $100 a session, which is an hour. And he does usually a 5-session minimum. So he's charging people, $500 minimum for his services. And I asked him, I said, Tim, in 15 years, in 1,000 people that you've trained, how many people, what percentage of people followed through with everything you taught them and accomplished their fitness goals? And he looked at me and he said, well, probably 5%. And I said, wait a minute. You're telling me that 95% of the people are proven to fail at what you're teaching them. How do you sleep at night? How do you share that? How do you stay in business? How do you lay your head on the pillow at night feeling good about what you do? And he said, well, it's because when I'm out there sharing my services with people, I know I'm going to eventually impact the life of somebody who's going to learn from what I'm teaching them, and they're going to take it and run with it. And you should have seen the look on his face. It was like a light bulb that went off because he finally got it. He realized that in network marketing, it's the same thing. We have people who we're sharing this opportunity with because we want to give them the chance to achieve their goals, whatever they might be, just a few $100s a month or complete financial independence, whatever they're looking for. And we know that, we wish everyone could be successful. We wish everyone could make it in our business, but there's nothing out there where everyone makes it. But if we stop sharing it with people, if we stop giving people the opportunity, the chance to build a business here, then obviously we're not going to find the ones who decide to take it seriously. And what I can tell you is that's what I see. People who decide to take it seriously, who push through it and do the work that it requires and stay focused on their income-producing activities, these are the people that end up being successful in network marketing. But a big reason why you hear this, most people who start a business fail or are not successful, is because the best thing about our profession is also the worst thing. And the best thing is that it's very inexpensive. And that's a great thing because people are out there and they need a great opportunity. All right. People are strapped for time. They want time and they want money. They want it together. And quite frankly, people just don't feel they have a lot of options out there. So it's great that network marketing provides a very inexpensive turnkey vehicle for people to achieve that. But that's also the worst thing for our profession because in many cases, people can start a network marketing business for $500 or $1,000 or even less, and they literally are in business. And there's a lot of people out there who spend more money on watches and purses and going out on the town or going to Vegas for the weekend. And so because it's so inexpensive, we get a lot of people who are sort of looking for a lottery ticket. They're looking to just put their money in and they hope that just by association they're going to be successful. And unfortunately, that's not the best mentality to go into business with. Again, if they spent $100,000 or $500,000, I certainly guarantee they would be a lot more committed to being successful. But that to me is the biggest reason why we have these skewed numbers out there. And that's really what you'd have to look at. You need to break down when you evaluate any type of income opportunity with network marketing, you've got to look at the big picture. If you look at the percentages where most of the people are not making a significant income, it's not because they can't. It's because most people, like anything, are not willing to produce the effort to get there. They're not willing to put the time in. All they see is the few that making significant, millions of dollars and think, well, that's not a very big amount of people. And then they forget about this large quantity of people in the middle who maybe are just making a few $100s a month or making a full-time income, but not this what I call gangster lifestyle money. You don't have to define success as making millions of dollars. For some people, it's just, like I said, bringing a spouse home from their job or eliminating their debt or putting their kids through school. There's so many reasons that people build a network marketing business. It doesn't mean they're not successful if they're not making millions of dollars. So these are just some things to think about when you're looking at the network marketing profession. Okay, myth number 3: you have to bug your friends. I don't feel comfortable about bugging my friends. Well, you don't. You do not have to do that. Professional network marketers focus on looking for people for whom their business is the right thing for right now. That means they need to expose it and let people tell them if they're interested in what they have. See, a real network marketing company doesn't teach people to go out and convince and sell people. They teach people to go out and expose and let people look for themselves. Here's the reality, though. We have some individuals that are not taught the right way. They're not taught how to be a professional. They're taught to go out and sell the get-rich-quick concept. And you know what? That's normal because they're excited. They're very passionate about their profession, their new business, and they want other people to see why they're so excited. So we tend to have some people who join our profession who don't do it the right way. But that doesn't mean you have to do that. You can be a professional and you could focus on following a system that I'm sure no matter what company you're thinking about being a part of, you could be a part of a system that allows people to just look and judge for themselves. I mean, how hard is it for someone to say, hey, this is a great idea. You tell me if this is something that you're interested in. Because you know what? We're already doing that all across social media. On Facebook, people are sharing restaurants. They're sharing movies. They're sharing other professions. If they're recommending an electrician or a contractor. Every time you're at a restaurant and you check in, every time you're at a ball game or a movie and you click that check in on your Facebook app on your iPhone or your smartphone, you are advertising for that company. You're already sharing other things that are going to charge the people you know money. Okay? And if you find a concept that's a great idea that brings real value to people's lives and you believe in it, you're just hitting that share button. You're hitting on that check-in button. And that's all that network marketing is. It's just monetizing that concept and giving you the opportunity to get paid for those referrals. Okay? Myth number 4, you can't make serious money. The answer is yes, you can. Some top earners in our profession earn over $1 million per month. That is not hype. That's reality. It's proven fact, and there's lots of proof out there. Many earn over $1 million a year. Many earn over $100,000 a year. Many more earn a full-time income, and a majority earn a good part-time income. And millions more are happy customers who enjoy their product. The bottom line is, the more committed people are the ones that make the most money. I will be the first to tell you that absolutely 95% of the people in our profession do not make millions of dollars. They don't, because just like in real estate or in any type of profession, most of those people in real estate, they're not out there showing homes on Sundays, on Super Bowl Sunday. They're at home watching the game. But a small percentage, the top earners, the top producers, are producing more effort. They've worked at it harder. They've gone through more adversity. They've gone through more challenges. They're willing to see that through. But you know what? Like I said before, there's a large percentage of people in this profession that are very happy making what they're making. There are a lot of people who skew those numbers of quote unquote success because they're just happy customers enjoying the product at a discounted rate, or they're getting paid on their own product or service that they're using, or they're happy just getting their product for free or service for free. There are so many great reasons for people to be a part of our profession, and because it's so inexpensive, we can appeal to everyone. It's not get rich quick, but it is quicker. It's a lot quicker than what you can do anywhere else. But that getting rich requires serious effort, serious commitment, and treating it like a business, treating it like you've invested $500,000 or $1 million instead of $500 or $1,000 to start your business. At the end of the day, network marketing absolutely works if you do. And that's what I wanted you to hopefully understand from this short overview of this concept. Network marketing gives people the ability, average people like me, the ability to create passive income and build a business that has multiple points of distribution. Those are two of the most brilliant concepts that you'll ever find. When you combine them together, what you have is network marketing. Thank you so much for taking the time to review this information.